All right, shifting gears once again to our elections coverage. Our guest is Dr. Imraan Buccus, who is a political analyst, making sense really from a bird's eye view level, Dr. Buccus, of the different movements in South Africa, on the continent, and certainly around the world. We've spoken about the reorientation of our politics so far, and I'm really fascinated by the lines of demarcation that you've drawn between the Moonshot Pact, I think that's what it's called, the multi-party charter, I beg your pardon, and what lies presumably on the other side of the spectrum, which is the more leftist organizations, including the EFF. I think we spoke about the MK party being there. I'd put Ace Magashule's organization, ACT, in that sec too. But we don't really have a formal name of this kind of alliance, informal alliance. And I wonder if, insofar as you're concerned, that's a gap that's yet to be filled in our country's politics.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, well, just to come back to this reorientation, right, or realignment, if you like. So, yes, you mentioned the multi-party coalition, which I think the important point to also make is that it ranges from conservative to liberal.
Right.
Right, IFP conservative, I'd suggest DA liberal. And then the ANC, which also has the full spectrum of our national politics, from socialist, communist, liberal, social democrats, and then, of course, the RET faction, which in large part, you know, the critique has been they come together because the focus has been on self-enrichment, looting of the public purse. There are interesting questions asked about MK. What does it offer? It's really popular in KZN. You know, it's polling at an incredible figure of like 30%, according to some polls. But what does it offer? I think nothing much. You know, what we're seeing from MK is people who have been, left out of the political machinations of the ANC and now have the MK. But I think we've also, in large part, while I think the ANC has focused on renewal, progressive foreign policy, a really progressive stance on Israel and Palestine, etc., pushing forward the idea of multipolarity, challenging the unipolarity of the US, etc. We've also, by and large, had a, lumbering, a weak, ideologically confused ANC. And in a country like ours, where I've always argued that a challenge to the ANC will not come from the right, I honestly don't see the DA ever challenging the ANC. In fact, the DA's, if I want to be crude about it, its position has really been laughable in terms of how it has ignored the young black vote, for example, its conservative positions on affirmation, on black economic empowerment, on even economic policy.
Right.
So I don't think a challenge to the ANC will ever come from the right.
Sure.
I do think, however, a challenge from the ANC is possible from the left of the political spectrum.
Sure.
And a glaring omission in our political landscape for me is a party of the left.
Fascinating thoughts, and it's on that note that we'll have to leave it. It's been so lovely catching up with you as we make sense of whatever's going on, quite frankly, in and around the country. I've no doubt we'll have another opportunity to speak. But for now, Dr. Imraan Buccus, a political analyst, live to us here from our studios at the National Results Operations Center. Really do appreciate your time.